Good afternoon, dear ladies and gentlemen. I'm glad to be here today with all of you and thank you for the invitation for this traditional Arctic shipping seminar in South Korea. So my name is Sergey Balmasov. I'm from a Norwegian Center for High and North Logistics. I myself located in Murmansk and working as the head of the CHNL information office. So the topic of my presentation today will be analysis of the Northern Sea route transit voyages in 2020. So I will go through some of the voyage details with a number of voyages, with number of vessels, with the vessels types, ice class, departure ports, speed, and distances. So in this short presentation, I will make an overview, and as this year is still the shipping is still in progress. By February next year, we're going to have a full report on Northern Sea route shipping, and the transit shipping will be a part of it. Just a few words about the Center for High North Logistics. We has been monitoring the transit shipping statistics and the overall shipping statistic on the Northern Sea route during the last 5 years. And we have created quite a big database, which now consists of around 10,900 separate voyages. So the main source of our information is a Canadian company, Exact Earth, and also we use information from the Russian Northern Sea Route Administration. So again, my topic today is about transit navigation on the Northern Sea route this year. Here on this slide, we have overall statistics for this year, and you can see the number of transit voyages so far by the 23rd of November was 62 transits. Then we have just a few words about the total number of voyages so far. It's around 2,500 voyages on the Northern Sea route, which is made by 331 vessels. As I said, the season is not completed, so it's going to be some changes after this year is over. Here I put also a distribution of the voyages since 2016 up to now by each month. So we can see that the number of voyages on the Northern Sea route during the whole year is increasing year by year. This year we have I think we will have a record number with the total voyages, and we already have a record number for the transit voyages for this year. And I will give more explanation about these transits, why I consider this year to be a record year comparing to the year 2013, when it was registered 71 transit voyages. So here we have more detailed statistics for the transits year 2020. So please have a look to this table on the left upper side. So here I put a flag of the vessels and the distribution of the summary deadweight that those flag carrying this flag bring into the total deadweight. So if we look at the numbers here, we will see that just the two vessels of Marshall Islands, they made 6 voyages and they bring altogether 450 deadweight towards overall deadweight input. And if we look to, let's say, the vessel sailing under Russian flag, we would say that it was 18 vessels made 21 voyage and bring 146,000 tons. So the input to the traffic is different. So altogether we have more than 2 million of summary deadweight this year. We don't really have data on a cargo, but I think by the end of the season, the Russian administration, they will issue that information as well. We are using deadweight in order to estimate the volumes of not cargo, but how big the vessels were at the route and how much input every vessel bring to the overall traffic. So the next table here, you can see it's a distribution of voyage directions. So we see here the transits to west. It was altogether 24 transits going from east to west direction. And here we have a distribution by voyage number for each month, starting from for this sector, starting from August. And when it comes for the voyages to east direction, it started in July and it's still going in November. So altogether we have 38 voyages to east and 24 voyages to west direction. So as I said before, this year we consider to be the highest number of the full transit voyages, because in the year 2013 we have 71 voyages, but 31 of them were not really a full transit. There were some voyages like going from Murmansk to Pevek or from Ob Bay to Pevek, and some other when the vessel not really crossing both western and eastern borders of the Northern Sea route. Also, I put here a graph showing us how transit vessels entered the Northern Sea route. So 12 vessels going east direction used Karagate, 26 vessels used Cape of Jelania in order to get to the NSR, and the vessel which proceeded from east to west, it's a 24 vessel went through the Dezhnev Cape. Yeah, one more slide regarding the overall description of the transit traffic. And here I put two graphs. The first one is the distribution of summary deadweight by flag. So here we see the biggest parts of the flags that vessel made. So the biggest one was the Marshall Islands, around 20% of the overall deadweight, then Portuguese flag, then China, Hong Kong, and the Russia's flag input to the overall deadweight was only 6.7%. That was too much for the traffic. But if we consider the number of voyages did, here Russian flag vessel made 21 voyages, and like taking a lead on the number of voyages, but not on the summary deadweight. Our next slide shows how the full set of transit traffic was formed. So it was 23 Russian voyages. So the departure port and the destination port was a Russian port, so it's a so-called big cabotage between Russian ports on the European side and Russian ports on the Far East side. Altogether 23 voyages. Then we have 25 fully international voyages, meaning that vessel was going from one country to another through the whole Northern Sea route, and it has no relation to Russia. So you can see a list here. And then we also have some voyages that were starting in Russia and proceeding to a foreign port, and on opposite direction, starting from some foreign port and going towards Russian port. So altogether 62 voyages with different type of traffic. On this slide, we have a distribution of voyages by ice class of a vessel. So here we have listed the ice class and then the number of voyages, and also the color means some specific type of a vessel. Here we have a filter, just if needed to get a westward or eastward direction, and also we can filter by the vessel type. So, but let us have a look towards ice classes of the vessel. So if we choose the vessel without ice class at all, we would get 4 voyages, transit voyages this year, which brings 47,000 deadweights, which was a quite small vessel. You see here the list of the vessel, and they did their voyages within the month of September. So if we go further, we see that there are some more voyages. Let's say 5 vessels and 5 voyages did transits within this month of September, and one of them started in August. So of course, if we look at the biggest numbers, we will put our attention to the vessels with Arc 4 ice class, which made 28 voyages, which is like half of the voyages made by this ice class. So 22 vessels participated, and if we want to look through more specifically, there were some voyages, the tankers, transit voyages done by tankers, not that many, 5 of them. Then if we look through the general cargo, we will get more, and it's 19 voyages. So we see it's a leading category with general cargo vessels with ice class Arc 4. If we look at the container shipping, I think it was only one. Sorry, it was 2 voyages made by nuclear container vessel Sevmorput. Let us have a look to the bulk carriers. So the bulk carriers, yeah, here we are. So the bulk carriers altogether 16 voyages made by 11 vessels, and what is interesting here, they bring 1.2 million deadweight. So we remember that the overall summary deadweight for transit voyages was a little bit more than 2 million. So more than half of the summary deadweight made by the bulkers. 11 voyages done by the bulkers with the ice class Ice 2, 3 voyages by bulkers ice class Arc 4, and 2 by ice class Arc 5. So we see that this year the ice conditions allowed low ice class vessel bring a lot of many voyages during this navigational season. So we can check some other ice class as well. What is interesting, there is no Arc 7. If we check the ice class distribution by the direction of the voyages, and now I have chosen the direction to west from east. So we see 24 vessels were moving from east to west direction. Of course, we are interested to get more information about the departure ports and from where the vessels started their voyages. So here we have a list of the port of departure, and it constructed with the biggest number in the port of Murmansk, 9 voyages, 9 transit voyages made from port of Murmansk. Then we have Nunavut, Arkhangelsk, and so on and so on. So let us see which vessels were departing from those ports and how much deadweight they bring to the overall statistics. So we see here from Port of Murmansk, it was altogether 9 voyages. Some of them belongs to SUEC company, some of them to the Oldendorf carriers, Femco Management, Atomflot, and others as well. Here we also see a port of Nunavut, and here it's quite interesting that this year I think it's a maximum activities in this port. We have 7 voyages, and I think all of them were bulk carriers, and they bring altogether 600 deadweight. So it's I think one of the biggest parcels of cargo that was transported through the Northern Sea route were coming from Nunavut to Asian market. So maybe you already noted that I put a filter, the bulk cargo, then altogether the bulk cargo bring 1.2 million of summary deadweight here, and we see the main ports where those bulk cargo was formed. It's not only cargo; it could be, of course, a return voyage to the loading port. But as I said, we are not having a full information on cargo, but we can assume that from Nunavut it was a fully loaded vessel going east. Then the same applies for Murmansk, it's a loading port. And here Dailan, Nakhodka, and Taijin, I believe those are ports when vessel was just coming back in a ballast condition. So we touch upon the port distribution, and then we will proceed further to other information. Okay, here we have another slide showing us a distribution of deadweight by the type of the vessels. So here you can see a month of July, August, September, October, and November. These are the navigation period we have, and then this graphs shows the overall deadweight input for each of the category. So we see that in general, the bulk cargoes, let's say the bulk vessels, they have 58%, more than 58% of the overall traffic. Then on the second place, we have a general cargo vessel with a 24%, and the tankers get 7% of deadweight, summary deadweight, and other type of traffic is less than 5%. So we have main three category here, and we can play with some figures. Let's say, let us take the biggest category, bulk cargoes, and see, it's again 16 voyages, 11 vessels, and the deadweight, tankers, 6 voyages and 6 vessels, and the general cargo, 24 voyages made by 17 vessels. Okay, we will move further. Now let us see how the traffic was distributed by the company, by the ship owners who was organizing this traffic. So here we have a distribution of summary deadweight by a ship owner. So on the first place we have Suec company, bringing altogether around 600,000 of deadweight. So let us see how. Let us see more details on this traffic. So here we have 3 vessels: Golden Suec, Golden Strength, and Golden Pearl, which made 8 voyages, and 3 of them were going west direction, 5 of them are going to east. I believe these 5 vessels going east were loaded voyages. Then let us see here this figure 12.44. It's the average speed of this vessel, of all of these vessels on the northern sea route, and here is the average speed of the total voyage. Also we put here figure summary of deadweight that bring this specific company, and here we have a summary of total hours that vessel spent specifically on the northern sea route. We can also check the speed of specific vessel if we choose one of these vessels, like Golden Pearl, starting her voyage on NSR on 23rd of September. So we would get the average speed of the NSR was 13.7 knots, and so on. We will have another slide with more information about vessel speed. I want now to switch to the COSCO Shipping Company, who had 8 vessels and 11 voyages this year. 5 of them were going to west and 6 going east. And here you see a list of those voyages, 11 altogether, 11 voyages. This is voyage direction. And I also put here an entry, date of entry to the Northern Sea route. Here on the left side, we have figures about the deadweight and type, how it's distributed. So if we consider the bulk carriers, we can click here, and then we will get full information about bulk type vessels. It was, let's say, 13 voyages going east, altogether 11 vessels, 16 voyages, and 3 of them came back to west. And it was a Suez company, Oldendorf carriers, bulk Nordic Olympic, and some others involved in the transportation of bulk cargoes. So we can check the same for the general cargo. And we will get, of course, COSCO as the main contributor in this sector, and other companies. So again, I'm not really want to stop too much on all these details. All the information will be published on our webpage shortly after our seminar. So here we put all together all the voyages with some specific details, but the most interesting here is a vessel's speed, and we made comparison between the overall voyage speed, average voyage speed, and also specifically the speed of the vessel within the Northern Sea route water area. Also here we have a distance that vessel passed through the Northern Sea route. You can see it here in the nautical miles, and also the number of hours that every vessel spent on the Northern Sea route. So what is really interesting here, the speed on the Northern Sea route sometimes is higher than average speed of the vessel during the entire voyage. So, of course, this information needs to be double-checked, and this is what we are doing now. But so far, we see that the vessel may have higher speed on the Northern Sea route, basically having, in many cases, open waters and just going straight ahead. So again, you can get this data afterwards. So if you compare the average speed of the vessel and the NSR is high here, more or less similar here, again higher. So what else is possible to do here is to check the vessel speed for the specific companies like COSCO or Suez, and to see how they were moving. Or we can choose a kind of a, let's say, specific vessel flag and see their speed. So the conclusion here could be that in the summer period this year was quite good ice conditions. I believe that majority of those vessels, they were transiting the Northern Sea route without icebreaker assistance, and I think that this year showed us again that not only technical possibility of transiting the Northern Sea route, but also a commercial interest to use this route when the navigational season is opened and the ice conditions allows vessels to go through within, let's say, 4 or 5 months. Here I have my last slide, giving us a map of the transit traffic in the year 2020. So you can see that a lot of vessels were loaded here. One voyage made here from Canada, from Montreal, and these are traditional locations in Europe and also in Asian countries. So let us make a bigger size so we can see that where vessels ended up their voyages or started their voyages, how they were moving through the Northern Sea road using both Karagate here and also Cape of Jelania. Then you may see these different color zones. These are actually a new Northern Sea route zones. Now we have 28 different zones, and the ice forecasts are given for each of those zones. Then the Russian side, Russian ports participated in the transit shipping, then going further to China and other countries. So this was a brief overview of this Northern Sea route transit traffic. This year, a full report will be available on our webpage in February 2021. And I would like to say thank you for your attention, and I will be ready to answer all the questions if you have. And I wish everybody a good webinar, good information sharing, and good luck to everybody. Thank you.